Spanish
Anyways,
delegation. Me.
Welcome
How
to.
did you do, Somos?
Anyways, welcome to another Periscope. Amber Garcia, Brian Brothers. No Lee this week.
No Lee.
No Lee.
You know something we know, huh?
Yeah, we don't know that.
Yeah.
So
He didn't practice today, though.
yeah.
No Sean Lee today, yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get into the whole linebacker group in a little bit.
Yeah.
Just hola. To let you know, send us your questions, comments, whatever you want to know. Ooh, hi from Spain.
Hello, Spain.
Whatever you want to know about this upcoming matchup. I call it matchup. Yeah, it is a matchup.
Fair enough.
I just think of soccer. But
Spain.
very big game.
Yeah.
Very big game. Crucial game in the season. This is a definite must win for those who don't even. That's Derek. I'm the one.
They all must win.
I say the same thing.
Yeah, but
Why are you arguing with me?
No, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying, though, there's not enough people that believe in must win, like me. Hello, South Florida.
I believe in that. So, anyways, I'm just saying for those people that talk about, oh, is this a must win? This is a definite must win. So yes, let's talk about Sean Lee versus Leighton Vander Esch. And Brian, I'm gonna ask you a question about Vander Esch and how he's doing. A lot of the talks happening right now is Vander Esch better than Sean Lee? What happens when Sean Lee is ready to get back on the field? What happens to Leighton Vander Esch?
What's your question about Leighton Vander Esch?
I thought you were gonna pop up. You just snuck back in. So is this you answering this question about Leighton versus Sean Lee?
Nah, I mean Leighton Vander Esch, he's played like what, the Wolf Hunter? Is that where you are right now?
What are you? Do you guys think this is a wolf or a lion?
Yeah, we're not really sure. We don't know.
We tried. So clearly you're going with the wolf. A younger version. Yes, the Wolf Hunter. Oh, man. The mask looked better.
Yeah. The mask looked better.
The mask looked better.
Yeah. I think with
But yeah, so what happens now? We keep talking about Sean Lee. He's getting back in the groove. He's about to get back on the field, looking healthier. Now, when that happens, what then? With a guy that, you don't really want to slow him down after the way that Leighton has been playing.
No, and what they'll do is, and the discussion will be about when Sean Lee and Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith were all rotating, was Leighton Vander Esch playing like he is right now? And that's the question. It's like, the rotation's good. Yeah. But then you got Leighton Vander Esch the last 4 or 5 games have just been outstanding. And so now do you say, okay, we're going to take Leighton Vander Esch off the field at certain points in time? But I think you also have to remember what Sean Lee has done throughout his career. And I get it, folks. Sean Lee has been hurt. Sean Lee's career has been marred with injury and not playing games and all that. But he's still a veteran player. He still plays with instincts. I was hopeful that he was going to be able to play this game, Ambar, because he usually kills the Philadelphia Eagles when he plays. Tackles and creates turnovers and, makes big plays in the game. But it looks like the Indianapolis game next week. But they'll have to figure something out, and they will. They will figure something out, and they'll figure out, okay, in nickel packages, like today in practice, they were doing a lot of different things with their linebackers. They were, they still get Damian Wilson involved. They could do things. They could play 3-man line and put all 3 linebackers. So I think they're going to create something where Jalen Smith becomes a rusher, like a guy, like a blitzer, and then you got Vander Esch and Lee in coverage as well. So
which Jalen, he's pretty good at doing that.
Yeah, he's absolutely good, and this is where the staff has to get a little bit creative with how they want the snaps. And I've really believed this, and the coaches aren't stupid. They know who's winning these games or helping them win these games. Leighton Vander Esch is helping them win these games. But they also believe that Sean Lee can help them win games too. And there was a time where if Sean Lee didn't play, this team was losing, games. So, I think that this week we'll have one more week where, we'll be Jalen and Leighton and then also Joe Thomas involved, and then also with also Damian Wilson too. So
yeah,
all those guys are going to get opportunity at least this week, and we'll figure things out. I know that's probably not a great answer, but it's the best answer for what they're going to do.
And we can say not a bad problem to have. Not a bad problem to have.
Yeah, see, and I love Jalen rushing the passer. He's got good speed. Absolutely,
he's really
right.
good.
Absolutely right. And that's so that's where we're going to be. Oh.
Anyways,
something you want to talk about there?
Not talking about no pregnancy.
Okay.
But so yeah. Agree, and I love the way that the defense has been using them. Jalen, as far as the pass rusher, he's shown to be really good at doing that. So we'll see what happens there. But as far as the other guys, I saw someone asking about Cole Beasley and his status. Have you heard anything yet?
Well, Cole practiced today, and so he was. They'll list him as limited today. If you're going to think about possible slot players, Hearns would be the guy. Now they got Hearns and they got Cooper. Both could play in the slot. But if I had to bet, if Cole can't go, I think you're going to see more Hearns on in the slot, if in fact. But Beasley did practice today, even though he was limited. Got to see him run a couple of different routes, but it wasn't like a full practice for him today. Yeah.
Byron on Ernst. When Spanish without the safety blanket, and we talked about him, and he is definitely a safety blanket, one of their best players on the field as far as the offense go. And one of the questions would be, we saw last time they had the game together.
Jeff Heath. Ernst had 14 catches the last time these two
touchdowns. And even though the Cowboys won, I mean, this is still going to be a challenge. How do you try to stop Ernst, and what do you do in the defense? Do you do what he said, like utilize Byron Jones, keep him on him?
See, and that's because last week we talked about, remember we said, think about putting Jordan Lewis on their guy, on Kamara.
Yeah.
We talked about that, and we said, this could be a possibility. Kamara, how do you play Kamara? You play him with a cornerback. So I think that this might be a possibility. If you go back and look at the history of Zach Ernst playing against Jalen Smith shut him down pretty well. There's only been 2 times. Ernst has 49 receptions in his career against
Lion
Army. Yeah, so he's got 49 receptions, and if you think 14 of them here recently, last game, and then another, I think it was a 16 another time. So. Byron Jones has done a pretty good job of playing against. Now, the question you have to say to yourself again is, do you want to take Jeffrey out of the game, Jordan Matthews out of the game? Do you want to take Golden Tate out of the game? I mean, so that's where it comes into, where does Jordan Lewis play? Where does Anthony Brown play? Anthony Brown was really good in the game last week. So, I mean, you've got enough corners to play this if you want to move on certain down and distance, if you want to move Byron over on Zach Ernst and treat him like a wide receiver. So, it's they've got enough bodies to do it. We'll see if Marinelli and Chris Richard want to say, certain down and distance. And if you think, last week you'd have thought that Jordan Lewis stayed with Kamara the whole game. No, it was only 8 snaps. So they kind of in and out with him on that one, and they might do the same thing with and
Byron. It worked out.
It worked out great. It did. It worked out. Absolutely. So right there, got to shut down their running game and don't let them get the play action. Yeah, they're Ethan. They're a big play action team, and what they like to do, Ambar, is they like to fake that. They fake the run. And then they throw behind the linebackers and stuff. That's where Zach Ernst gets inside. You broke down a play for, on Somos today with Zach Ernst working the middle of the field like that. So I just kind of feel like, though, that to win this game, you're going to have to find a way to eliminate, to slow down Zach Ernst. Like 64% of his passes that he catches are like 7 yards plus. Down and distance wise. So when it's 7, they need 7 or more yards for a first. They're going to throw 64% of the time they throw the ball to Zach Ernst. And like 44% of the time, I hate to do this with numbers, guys, but it's what it is. 44% of the time, he's going to get a first down when you throw him the ball. And they like to throw him the ball on first down But, he's also on third down. They do some stuff, too. So.
Does it concern you if you put Jordan against him, the size difference, does that concern you?
That would Jordan is shorter but longer armed. Now it's a little bit different when he and Kamara are roughly the same height. So when you want to talk about one of the great things about Zach Ertz is his ability to make catches that are what we call contested, as you know, and that's when you want to be able to get up on him. That's why Jeff Heath was able to, on that fourth down play at the end of the game last time, was to drive him. You need a tall, big body on him, and the fact that Byron Jones is really comfortable playing very tight and playing very physically, and then slapping at the ball. You've got to do that, and he knows. He knows how to play. Someone mentioned about Alshon Jeffrey. If you go up a little bit. Yeah, Alshon Jeffrey. Absolutely. That's a mismatch, too. I mean, so, how the Cowboys play.
Who do you want to direct your attention to? Who do you
want to try to take
out?
See, that's the problem in this game, because I think that you have to try and control Ertz myself.
Yeah.
I think that's the one, because that's the guy that when Carson Wentz is not accurate, it's throwing the ball to the other receivers. He could throw the ball. He's generally accurate because it's a simple pass to him to hit Zach Ertz right inside, simple plays. So you got some help from the Saints last week. They dropped some balls. They dropped some balls on you, and you need a couple of those kind of the breaks to happen that way. So
yeah. I saw a question here. Where is it? About Tavon, and I see a lot of people asking about him and his status as far as when he is expected to come back.
Right.
Yes, he has been dancing on the sideline and doing his stuff.
Right.
I saw him kind of jogging around and stuff, but again, that's not necessarily a full indication of whether he's ready to fully go on the field or not.
Right.
Have you heard anything about him?
Well, he's been working with Britt Brown.
Yeah.
And so when you look at the guys on the field, the guys that work on the field generally come back sooner. And so I've seen Sean Lee on the field, as you have, and I've seen Tavon Austin. They've kind of been workout buddies together here. So, I think Sean Lee, is next week. Tavon Austin's getting closer, but he had a pretty significant injury, and it was much like, what we saw. Terrence Newman had the injury, the stomach, the growing stomach area thing. We've also seen it with Mo Claiborne, had the same thing and just never really was the same. So Tyron Smith.
Update on Tyron Smith.
Yeah, Tyron didn't practice at all today. So it was Cam Fleming at the tackle. Suafilo was the left guard, and then Connor Williams. I asked Coach Garrett the question today in the walk-off. I said, any change at left guard? He says, no, we're going with Suafilo. So that's good.
There you go. That answers the questions because again, people asking, okay, do you put Connor Williams back in as a starter?
Right.
Given the fact that Xavier, he didn't play so great last game. He still did enough, but it wasn't amazing. And you have to keep in mind that he was and still kind of struggling with an injury on his ankle. So
absolutely,
that plays a factor. But is he still better than fully healthy Connor Williams?
And think about this. Suafilo, the first start he got was against the Eagles, and what did they do? They held up really well inside. Fletcher Cox didn't kill him, and I think you have to be able to play with power. When you play against Fletcher Cox, and I think Amber, you hit the nail on the head. Suafilo, the ankle problem limited his ability. He got a little bit too lungy, overextended. He was trying to kind of handle that quickness, by just getting on it then, and it hurt him in that game. So
And this team is extremely superstitious. They're so superstitious, and they've been winning game ever since Suafilo has been on the O-line. So I don't think that's going to change until...
No, coaches, and it's super, but coaches are that way. Yeah. Coaches don't, if it's working,
if they're winning games.
Yeah, but we've seen before, though, we talk about hot hand and stuff like that. Well, they didn't do it at quarterback. They let Romo, they went hot hand guy with Dak, and so that there's really no hard or fast rule here, but coaches will tell you if they've having success, then they'll go for it. So,
what's up with Taco?
Taco is back practicing, and we'll see if he's part of the rotation. There was the coaches were a little disappointed in Taco. There was a couple weeks ago they were trying to get him ready to play. I had written in my notes, final thoughts, I thought he was going to play. And then I had somebody text me and says, "You sure Taco's going to play?" And I was like, I guess by this text he's not. So a little disappointed in Taco's attitude. I think that they've come to having a discussion with Taco, and so he's back at practicing. We'll see what happens. It still looks like it's going to be Crawford and Randy Gregory at right defensive end until we see something different. But right now, that seems to be what they're going to go with. Yeah.
We talked about Ertz, but who would you want to see kind of control Golden Tate?
Well, okay, Golden Tate is a totally different animal too, and Golden Tate would go all over the field, and so I think that to me, the guy that I'd want.
And we haven't really seen where they put a guy that travels with the receiver.
Byron Jones a little bit against Thomas, a little bit last week, not much. It's not something they like to do. If you remember Golden Tate and Jordan Lewis, the one or two snaps he got in the Detroit game, he gave up a huge play, missed the tackle. And I think Jordan Lewis would be up to the assignment. I think you got to keep Anthony Brown in the slot, and you got to hope that they continue to work, Tate some in the slot. I think Anthony Brown's playing pretty damn well right now. So, I don't think it's like, okay, just match this thing up across. I think wherever they're the guy, whether that's Lewis is on the field, Brown is on the field, Owuze is on the field, Jones is on the field. Mm-hmm. Somebody is going to just whatever side they're playing. They have enough confidence that those guys are going to keep making stops the way they did last week against the Saints.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Now Cooper keeps getting better and better. Do y'all think Dallas Cowboys has a number one receiver? They better have one.
And let me tell you why, Ambar. If you're reading what we wrote during the week or after the game. Mm-hmm. The Saints took their best cornerback, Marshawn Lattimore, and put him on the Cowboys' best receiver, one-on-one. 8 targets, 8 receptions. If you're consistently beating the other team's best cornerback, and especially a guy like Lattimore, that's a tremendous player, yes, you've got a number one wide receiver right there. So
especially after that trade.
Let me tell you what, the Eagles are in a world of hurt in this game, trying to cover. They're going to have some problems covering Cooper in this game. They really, really are. They don't have somebody that can match up with Amari Cooper. They really, really don't. And they might not have somebody that can match up against Michael Gallup. So keep an eye on that too. Michael Gallup's making a run for this too.
Yeah,
I mean, we're going to get some.
Well.
He is playing well. So.
Again, like you said, the Eagles secondary is not looking too good.
No, they're not. They're really beat up. And so, if you can get protection up front, if you remember what happened in that Philadelphia game at the end, they started losing guys, and all of a sudden they had to play zone defense. If Philadelphia plays zone defense against the Cowboys, Dak Prescott will have another 24 for 28 game like he did last week. Noah Brown's another guy. Yeah. See, they need more tosses than Noah Brown. I mean, Noah Brown has shown you, though, his ability.
He's gotten better.
He's absolutely gotten better.
You've seen improvement.
Yeah. So.
And now, we talked about their secondary not being very good and a good matchup for the Cowboys wide receiver and Dak Prescott.
Absolutely.
Now, when you moving on to the red zone and how the red zone defense is, we've seen the Cowboys struggle in this specific area.
Right.
They've struggled in scoring points.
Right.
How do you see this kind of playing out?
Well, the thing you got to hope for, though, Ambar, is the field shrinks, which always helps the defense, and so, the Cowboys have it's been you want to say, okay, run the ball, do this, they're missing a guy like Jason Witten. They're missing somebody, Ambar, that knows how to find space. And when they've got guys on the outside that have been getting covered, they've been trying to run, crossing routes, things like that, get guys open. They just haven't been able to do that.
Yeah.
So, I think to me, if I'm down there and I'm the Cowboys, I go with more of the RPOs, the run pass option stuff. Teams have had problems with the Cowboys when they've been able to Dak hold the ball, Dak give the ball. They've had problems having to deal with that. So
a lot of people asking about Rico.
Yeah,
Rico.
Yeah,
Why don't they use him? Why can't they utilize him more?
Yeah, and I thought last week when we did this, like I said, keep an eye on Rico because I knew in the game plan they had a couple of different things planned for him, and they just didn't get to it in the Saints game. Still might be something that we see this week, but yeah, I mean, Rico. It just takes time for him to get open. And when you get down in the red zone, you don't have a lot of time to be, kind of waiting to get open. I mean, that quarterback, we've seen what the problem. Dak takes sacks down there, or they miss a block, or they miss a route, so.
That really sucks. It really sucks that, that they haven't been able to really
They're 4 of 9.
Benefit.
4 of 9. They're the 31st ranked team right now in goal-to-goal situations, and it used to be just a given to give the ball to Elliott, and it was a touchdown. So,
yeah, that or again you had Jason Witten there.
You had Witten, you had Des
it's
Bryant.
Always and Des Bryant.
Yeah,
and those three right there. One of the three is going to make a play for you.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of questions about David Irvin and what is going on with him. Is it really the ankle injury? Is it the off-the-field issues? I mean, the answer is we don't know. We don't really. I mean, you might know something that I don't. I don't know. But
I think I've taken the approach, Ambar, and again, I wasn't trying to grandstand you there.
Yeah.
I was trying to tell you that, you look at David Irving's situation. Yeah, it's the ankle. Yeah, it's a high ankle. Yeah, there are a lot, but the guy's not around. He's not around. You don't see him. You don't see him on the field trying to work. You don't see him, out there with Britt Brown trying to get, and then you don't see him in the cafeteria. That's one of the great things that we have, the advantages we have of living here is the fact that we get to see these players every day, whether it's breakfast, lunch, guys pop in and you get an opportunity. And I haven't seen him around. And he's got all these off-field problems, and I think the Cowboys have just basically told him.
Kind of moved on a little.
Just, you go and do what you have to do. The guys that here, they've been well. You look at Ross has played well. Reed has played well.
The thing is, especially when the defense is playing the way they've been playing, it's like they're not really worried about getting a guy like – and it's sad because David Irvin, we've talked about him and the talent that he has, and it's just innate. Is that how you say it? Innate?
Yeah. Ability? Innate ability?
Innate
ability.
Yeah. He's just born with the talent, basically.
Yeah, no, she's right.
So that's the sad part. But again, the Cowboys, especially this last 4 weeks of the season, is like they really do have a chance to make it to the playoffs, and they're not focused or worried about that, especially with the way that the defense is being able to play without him. Now, Randy Gregory, who is another guy we talked about. I mean, I cannot repeat the things he was doing last game. And, I mean, three times. One of them cost them a touchdown where the Saints scored after he got...
Yeah, the roughing the punter penalty.
Yeah, those are things that you cannot be doing at this point in the season and at this level.
Yeah.
So... Yeah. Let's hope they fix those issues there. Questions about Dayton Jones and him coming back.
The coach said he's not coming back at all. Don't count on him.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe they should run bubble screens for Noah Brown or Cooper in the red zone.
Yeah. I mean, they've tried to do some things. I mean, that's a tight area to try to throw the ball that way. But you're right, though, Barry. I mean, they need to try and do something. 4 for 9 inside goal-to-goal situations. That's just awful right now. It really, really is. So
yeah. Now, another guy, update on Swaim.
Haven't heard much about him. Saw him at the holiday party, but haven't seen him working out or anything like that since the surgery and us. So, we'll see. We'll see how things kind of play out for him maybe a couple weeks from now. But they're keeping him on the active roster just in case. So we'll see how that plays out, though.
Yeah.
Smith didn't practice today, if you're asking about that. And
we've talked about
Connor Williams is not starting. It's Suafilo. And
so let me see. Looking for more questions.
Yeah.
You know what? I read a question. It's not on here, but I can't find it. I read a question in regards to the running back position.
Yeah.
Rod Smith and his involvement.
Been playing slow motion football right
Yeah,
now.
it has not been good. He hasn't really been productive for the Cowboys lately.
Yeah.
So any thoughts on them possibly making a move there or bringing someone up?
Yeah,
or making any changes?
No, they've talked about they really do like Rod Smith.
Yeah.
And but it's been unfortunate. Darius Jackson was a mention. Yeah. I don't know what's happened to Rod Smith, Ambar, because there was if you remember the Giants game last year, I mean, he had some productive 7 carries, 49 yards. And then we remember the preseason games, Arizona, Cincinnati, Zeke not playing, running the ball downhill, being tough. He just hasn't run with the toughness that he had in the past. And that part of it is disappointing to me, because I was thinking that, okay, you put Rod Smith in. Remember the 49ers game last year? It was kind of
last year.
Yeah, I mean, he just pounded at him. And, I haven't seen that player. And that's bothering me, because I was kind of hopeful that he would be, when he got opportunity, because we've seen Zeke. I mean, Zeke said in the locker room today, he was so grateful to have this little break and not have to play. He says it's the first time he's felt great on a Wednesday and he can't remember. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's sad that Rod Smith has not taken the ball and done things that Rod Smith is capable of. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I've always been rooting for him. And like you mentioned last year, when Zeke wasn't here, he did a really good job.
He sure did.
Yes, there were instances where it wasn't great and stuff, and there was the whole dilemma with I can't think of his name right now. The other running back, great guy. Alfred Morris.
Alfred Morris, yeah.
I couldn't remember his name.
I was saying, okay, which running back you talking about? Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Alfred Morris.
Yeah.
There was the whole dilemma of where they just kept switching back and forth between Alfred Morris and Rod, and they never really allowed one to really get it going.
Right.
Then you had the McFadden story there. But anyways, we saw really good things from Rod Smith, and it's kind of disappointing to see that right now he hasn't been as productive as you would like it to be, because that's another thing. You give Zeke a little bit of rest, just a little bit, and that helps tremendously. And him, with the amount that he's on the field now, not just running the ball, but also catching passes and stuff like that, you utilize him more, and you want him to give him a little bit of rest that is needed. What's the question you were looking at?
No, I was looking at Dawson Knox. They're asking about tight ends in the draft.
Oh.
Dawson Knox is Ole Miss. He is a very athletic guy. Here, I'm getting a little draft show for you, Ambar. Got to get you on the draft show.
Boring. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Dawson Knox, so he's a tight end from Mississippi, Ole Miss. Really athletic guy. Man, he can get down the field, catch the football. Not much of a blocker. Terrible blocker, but he is a very, very, very athletic guy. I'm looking forward to seeing some of these guys. I think Iowa's got 2 tight ends I need to take a look at. Dane thinks they might be both first-round players. And we don't
do your homework.
I'll do my homework.
Do your homework. Who can the Cowboys bring a tight end, okay?
Let me go get you one of these. I'll go get you one of these again.
Who can the...
Yeah.
They are you talking about the school?
Well, no, I'm just talking about going to get another wolf hunter. They did a great job.
Okay.
They did a great job.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to find another wolf hunter out there. So,
okay.
Beasley practiced just a little bit today if you're coming in late. So, yeah, we'll see. He's a tough guy. I mean, he'll do the best he can. Ambar seems to believe that Alan Hearns will be the backup at the slot if he can't go, and she's absolutely right about that. So,
if he can't go, who would you want returning?
Returning kicks, punts.
Yeah.
It would be like Jordan Lewis.
Which we've seen before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's see. Last question. Let's see who.
Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
By the way, I heard the referees for this game are the same ones that did the Tennessee game. So I think that's right. And I don't know. I can't remember who had, but I heard the Tennessee officials. So if you find out who those are, you'll know. Somebody asked about the referees. So.
All right.
Window on Tavon Austin. He's on the cords.
TBD.
He's on that cords, and so we'll see. Hopefully sooner than later. But
all right. Well, thank you. I'm just stretching here.
You're stretching? Pregnancy?
Oh my god. Thank you guys.
If you follow Amber on Instagram, you'll know what we're talking about, right?
It's been 24 hours.
Oh, is it gone?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone? Okay. Sorry.
Thank you guys so much for being our company today.
Yes.
What are you pointing at?
Check out her work on Symbols Cowboys. She did a really good breakdown on Zach Ertz and then also on Michael Bennett.
Bennett. And
scary. Michael Bennett. Scary.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there. I would ask him who wins this game. We already know the drill. Check out gut feeling. Blah blah blah.
8. What's your record? I'm 8-4.
Ooh.
Who picked the Cowboys over the Saints? Me.
You want to know his reasoning though? This was his reasoning about picking the Cowboys to win against the Saints. He was like, my gut has been wrong most of the time, so I'm just gonna go with the opposite and see if I.
That's not true. I'm 8-4.
He did.
I'm 8-4.
Anyways, if you're gonna know his prediction,
you got a lot of money. Ambar's up.
If you
keep her in paint and she'll be happy. That's all right. Keep her in paint.
If you want to know,
or a big truck to carry around the boards, right? She get the
yes.
What's it called? Give us a term for what are the paint?
A canvas?
The canvas. I can't remember. All right.
A canvas, yes. They had a really good special at the store.
And Ambar didn't have a truck. So if you got a big truck, Ambar's interested.
Oh my God. Shut up.
A big Mercedes truck.
I got a 2-door car, so I couldn't fit enough.
Say goodnight,
but anyways, you're the one who keeps talking.
I'm just say goodnight, Ambar.
Oh my God, this guy, he's annoying. He's so annoying. Like, you guys don't know him in real life.
Yeah.
Most of you. Yeah. But he's pretty annoying. Anyways, if you want to know whatever this guy is thinking about this upcoming game, who he predicts is going to win, make sure to check out his gut feeling, the boring article that they put out. What a great promotion.
Gosh.
No.
No wonder our numbers are down. Ambar.
So him and the rest of the staff, the English staff, they write their boring predictions. Yeah. So make sure you check it out if you care. Whatever. It's on DallasCowboys.com and it comes out Friday?
Fridays.
It comes out Friday, so check it out. And en español, todo en español. I'm not a hater at all. It's just I don't read their articles. No. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, guys. Yeah. No, it's good stuff. So yes, all the staff give their final predictions and final thoughts before the game. So make sure to check it out this Friday. Gut feeling, and we'll see what happens there.
Absolutely.
And yeah, Brian should try some Spanish sometime. It's all love.
Yeah. We'll see you guys.
Bye. Ciao.